I am aware that I am not responsible for trying to make you understand me. Because you can't. You cannot possibly understand me and where I'm coming from. You would have to be living in my body and walk in my shoes and look through my eyes. However, that doesn't stop me from trying, because it's not just for my benefit. If I can articulate these unseen thoughts, these unseen understandings, it might help open up for you a dimension that you're not aware of. So I get a lot of well-meaning Christians that make their defense for Jesus because obviously I have left my relationship with Jesus to pursue a relationship with myself. And you might not understand what I mean by that. So I'm going to try and articulate it for you. You are a being in the consciousness that is compartmentalized into 3 dimensions. Actually, you are a 5-dimensional being, but the 3 main ones that are always active and that are that have to do with consciousness are the ones in the mind. And that is your mental dimension or your intellect, your emotional dimension, which is your soul, your feelings, and then your psychological dimension, which is also the soul. Now I lack the terminology to describe that. But the 3 dimensions that happen in our brain are emotional, mental, and psychological, and then rarely the spiritual dimension. But the spiritual dimension is influenced by the psychological realm. So anyways, I am a person that has become aware. I would call it a gift. For me, it's become a gift that was opened up to me, where I am able to discern within myself the mental, the emotional, and the psychological dimension. I can tell at any given time from which dimension I am speaking, thinking, feeling, and expressing. Now let me get back to my point, which I'm going to try and remember what it was. So I think I started out by saying that I have left the relationship with Jesus to have a relationship with myself. And what I mean by that is I have come into, and that entails coming into consciousness with my fragmented soul that is split between these 3 dimensions. And my soul dimension and psychological dimension were suppressed for many years. I was dissociated from myself. Psychologically, that was psychologically induced because of the childhood trauma and early childhood religious indoctrination that I experienced. You know, when a young child it gets told that you are a no good, wicked sinner, that you're bad, so bad that an innocent man had to die on the cross to make you okay with God, that is so damaging to a child's psyche that dissociation from self is a form of escaping yourself. You abandon yourself. You abandon this human being that you are. So your soul splits off from your identity, and your ego steps in its place to keep you a functional human being. But you, in your core essence, are not really at home. You're not present. You're not there. You are dissociated, and you try to find refuge. In this case, in Jesus, you try to find refuge in Christianity, in that relationship with Jesus. Your ego can have that relationship with Jesus. And your psyche, your psychological mind, your mind is so brilliant that it can create, just from your emotional thoughts, your emotional feelings, it can create a lifelike experience with all the characters that your young psyche was programmed with. You've been exposed to Christian imagery and Christian messages since childhood, if you were raised in the Western world, where Christianity is the predominant religion. You may not remember this, because you don't remember a lot of things that got embedded in your subconscious mind. You don't know. We don't know 95% of everything that our young mind absorbed in childhood in its hypnotic state. We only function on the 5% of our conscious mind, and the rest is directed by the iceberg that's under the water. And that is that's a collection of the indoctrination and the trauma that I mentioned. So it's the 95% that I am now embarking on getting to know. It's the relationship with my subconscious mind, or the soul, that I am embarking on. That's where I had to let go of the relationship with Jesus, because that was externally oriented to another person, to his person. But that didn't help me get in touch with my subconscious. Didn't help me get in touch with my soul. So that's what my story is all about. I'm not saying that the relationship with Jesus doesn't help you or help a lot of people. I'm sure it does. But it's only going to affect one dimension, your mental dimension. It's not going to touch your psyche. It's not going to touch your soul. So that's where my relationship has led me to the relationship with my soul. I hope this explanation helps you understand where I'm coming from.